Right. And you are the president of the Shire of Dardanup, Tyrrell Gardiner.
I am the Shire President of the Shire of Dardanup. Yes.
Scary position.
Look, it's an interesting position. I've been a councillor for 12 years.
Yeah.
And before that, there's a history in the family of being councillor. I'm actually a fourth generation councillor for the Shire of Dardanup.
That's hectic.
Swore I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
My father was a Shire President 15 years ago and really invested in the job, loved it.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm not doing this. We've already been too involved. I'm just stepping away. But after he passed on and a challenge that came out from the then Shire President, Mick Bennett, who was a long-term leader of our Shire, he made a challenge of it to join the council, which I did back then. And since then, love it, absolutely love it. We get to do stuff and see stuff at a next level to the average person in the street.
Yeah.
And get to make some decisions that hopefully are for the betterment of the community.
All right, so the immediate thing that sort of rings for me is like, my dad had a brush in business while I was growing up, like in my sort of formative adolescence.
Yep.
And he wanted to give me the business, and I couldn't think of anything worse. Now, if I had taken the reins then, I would be in a very different position right now, you know? Yeah. But then when I found business myself later on, as soon as I sort of took that step up, I was like, oh, this is... Yeah. I'm actually, not do I like this, I think I'm built for this.
Yep.
You know?
Found a niche. Yeah.
It sounds like a similar situation for you.
Yeah, it is. And I've said previously that it becomes quite addictive. It's just the enjoyment. Look, there's some knocks and you get a few belts around the ears from some of the things you're doing, and you've got to hear the community, and sometimes they're not happy. But, yeah, if you can make good decisions and get good outcomes, you can puff your chest out a little bit. So
yeah, of course. So you have done 12 years as a councillor. Is that separate to being a president?
12 years. So because we're not a directly elected president, we're a Band 3 Shire. So the president of the Shire is then elected by the council of the day.
Yeah.
Every 2 years. So yeah, 12 years as a councillor, of which 2 have been Shire president.
Oh, okay. Right. So I've come to understand this idea that you sort of want to have 3 terms as a councillor. First term you learn, second term you execute, third term you nurture.
It depends on where you're at and what council you're in. We were very fortunate. As I said, we've previously had Mick Bennett, who's now the Shire Freeman, who was a long-standing president.
Yep.
Great leader, innovative, and it was just great to have someone like that leading the council. But then he made the decision to retire, and after COVID we had quite a lot of retirements at Shire President. So it was probably my time to step up.
Interesting. What's the correlation between COVID and retirement?
I think a lot of people in that realm, in the public service realm, just there was a crisis going on, and they just didn't see it as the right time to step away. So get through the crisis, and we saw it in state politics as well. There was a lot of those politicians hung in there, and then we got through it and the aftermath, and then they've sort of said, okay, I've done my time here, I'm off.
Do you think there was a feeling of, all right, I've got 5 good years of public service left, and then that got shortened because of the intensity of those 3?
Look, possibly, yeah. Some of those people right at the coalface, they had some really hard times during the COVID. And
yep.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Shire Dardanup has what population?
We're sitting on about 15,000, Jake.
So 15,000 population, and forgive my ignorance, what does the Shire of Dardanup cover as far as...
Okay, so you've got our urban centre where the Shire offices are out there at Eaton, so Eaton and Millbridge.
Right.
And then you'll move out through Waterloo into the farmland there.
Yep.
The little town side of Dardanup, which is the historical birthplace of the Shire of Dardanup, and Burrup, and then you go up the Ferguson Valley, and we actually go into the forest out the back of the Ferguson there.
Wow, all right.
So we've got a bit of a mix.
That's a mix. So how much land are we talking?
Several hundred square kilometres. I wouldn't have the figures offhand.
Yeah.
A lot of national park in there. We go right up to the Wellington Dam.
Yeah.
So the Collie River's the north boundary.
Wow, okay.
You can imagine all the way through. So you start at the Wellington Dam, come all the way down the Collie River. Burrup's on one side of the Collie River, that's in the Shire of Dardanup.
Yep.
Keep going through, and then Eaton and Millbridge, that's on the south side of the river.
Yeah. I want to touch back on Eaton and Millbridge, but I think an interesting thing that's coming to mind is like Bumbury is like 30,000, 40,000 people, and you could fit city of Bumbury landmass like 15 times over. And
yeah. Look, and we're sitting on that 15,000 now, but we've got massive growth coming up. We've already got approvals for up to 6,000 people in blocks at Dardanup and Burracup and the finish at Millbridge. So we've already got that growth. But the big ticket item for us, Jake, is the upcoming city of Wanju.
Okay.
So Wanju is out sort of Waterloo. It's inside the new Wilman-Wadandy Highway.
Yep.
To the north of the South West Highway.
Okay.
There's 1,200 odd hectares in there.
Yeah, I know where you're talking. So, all right. So there must be a huge split between, because obviously Eaton and Millbridge, very dense population in those areas compared to somewhere like Ferguson Valley where things are spread out by 15 acres at a time.
Yep.
So obviously that's a whole, the challenges around dealing with those different
people and different needs. Yeah, for sure. So, but even as we've changed a lot in the Dardanup Shire.
Yeah.
Go back 40 years ago, Eaton was quite a small sort of, grew out of a fishing village sort of thing.
Right.
And then it grew out through Waterloo and Dardanup and up the valley. We had a lot of whole milk dairy farmers.
Yep.
That's changed. The dairy farming industry's moved further south. To go back prior to that, historically, there's a lot of small acreage blocks out there which had been aggregated over time to make these bigger farms. Well, they've actually now been broken down again, and people have recognised this is a great place to live.
Yeah.
So you've got that demand for people to have a lifestyle block, anywhere from 10 to 50 acres up to 200.
Yep.
They live out there, but a lot of them work in town or work in the mines up on the hill.
Yep.
So yeah, it's quite a unique position.
The average person the average resident in the Shire of Dardanup is an interesting. There's almost two.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to say this is who lives in Dardanup. They go to work 9 to 5. Got so many kids.
Yeah.
Because we've got the spread. Yeah, you've got, let's say, the urban.
Yep.
Got that rural and a lot in between. So and
I think when you squint your eyes, Eaton and Millbridge sort of feel like Bumbury.
Look, they're part of the Greater Bumbury region. Well, we're all part of the Greater Bumbury region. The Greater Bumbury urban basis. Yeah, you've got Eaton and Millbridge certainly are part of that. Yeah, so just there's no line or big fence to say Bunbury stops here and Dardanup starts there. It sort of seamlessly moves through.
Oh, and the more time goes on, the more seamless it becomes.
Yeah.
Right? And it seems weird. You drive along that road that connects the port and Eaton, and you look to one side and you've got cattle in a field, and to the other side you've got ships in a port, and you're going from like a super dense area to a super dense area.
So all those cattle you see out there, that's actually Bunbury Port Authority land, so that's future growth of the port. So
right. Oh, really?
So that's all set aside for future port development.
Interesting. Yeah, Jason said that on the pod as well, and I was like thinking, oh, he's thinking like the cut area and that, but that's a huge.
Yeah, they'd have to do a lot of dredging and digging out to do it, but that's.
Oh yeah.
And that's Bunbury as a region. That's what the impetus for setting Bunbury up was so long ago was a port.
Yeah.
And it's massive now. It's a bulk commodity port. We've got the alumina comes down from Worsley and Alcar.
Yep.
The wood chips that come from the region. Bit of lithium.
Yeah, lithium and bloody rutile that comes from.
And the mineral sand. So that's the impetus. But it's always been everything's grown or dug up or produced out there and comes back through Bunbury. So
yeah, it's such an interesting identity crisis I feel Bunbury has. Is like everyone has this assumption it's a tourist town. It's like, actually, I think we're an industry town, you know?
Yeah. And look, you look at the census details of what happens in Bunbury, and manufacturing is a big part of Bunbury. But a lot of that manufacturing is to service those mining industries that are taking place.
Interesting.
Within with half a day's drive of Bunbury.
Because we have so many engineering and fabrication and
a lot of them servicing the Northwest.
Yep.
Because where would you rather live, down here or in the city? And once they put it on a truck, if it's an extra couple hundred k's, it doesn't matter.
Who cares? Yeah. I have this conversation all the time. Like I feel like I stumbled into this awesome industry of doing uniforms.
Yep.
And people say, like, I do have a bit of background. I purely focus on doing uniforms within 50 kilometres of right here.
Yep.
They go, why don't you go for WA or Perth or Australia-wide? It's like, because there's $10 million sitting here waiting for me.
It's here already.
I don't need to worry about shipping and all the rest. Like, if I can deliver it to them, perfect.
Yep.
You know? And it's anyway, I don't want to get off topic. So Eaton and Millbridge, I was going to say before, whenever I think of this area, I always say we've got 100 to 120,000 people.
Yep.
Because you go from the top of Australand to somewhere between Jalorap and Capel.
Well, you put the 4 local government areas together.
Mm.
So you've got the City of Bumbury as the start, and the bigger metropolitan area, but then you've got Harvey, Dardanup, Capel, so all those local governments all feed into those numbers.
Yeah. All right, now before we get onto, because obviously the elephant in the room is amalgamation. The reason that I reached out to you was because ABC pulled a bit out of a podcast I did with Jason talking about amalgamation. The only time that I've ever made a long form clip from my podcast, so something that isn't 30 seconds and on social media, was that 12-minute chunk of amalgamation, and it weirdly did really well.
Yes.
It did really well.
Look, it's topical, and it's not a new thing. It's been bandied around previously. When I first went on Shire 12 years ago, there was a bit of a push from the state government at the time to have some forced amalgamations. Yeah, and like Jason says, it's his personal view. We disagree on that one. I think in our own right, each local government, we are representing our communities. And as you've said, we've got some very different communities that we can understand better on that local government size.
Yeah.
The other thing we've got to our advantage in this area is we have got growth. We've got massive growth coming up. I mean, it'd be great, 100,000, that's a great massive council. We're going to have a lot of noise, but are we going to be able to represent our community as councillors when you get that big? You go to some of those big metro councils, the people in the street wouldn't even know who their councillors are.
I'd argue that the people in the street don't know who their councillors are at the moment, and it's small.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said,
good. The discussions like this actually get people aware, and I think a lot of people actually don't understand what local government does.
This is what we're talking about just before we got on cam. Is 5 years ago I had no idea what any of this is. Now I'm talking to presidents of mayors. Yeah. It's only through that sort of voluntary participation that you start, you scratch the surface. You go, well, who makes the decisions? You're like, well, there's actually a panel of people, and then someone who sits at the top. You're like, well, who are the people? It's like they're just normal people, business owners, parents, sporting league, whatever you want.
And they're mixed. You've got you get different types of people from different backgrounds all coming together. And that's a great. You'll be on council and you look around the room and they've all got different political backgrounds. They've all got different social backgrounds, but you come together and that difference of background gives a really great argument, information.
Yep.
And as a councillor, we can go into a council meeting to make a decision, but you listen to the argument, you go, oh, that's probably a better way to look at it, and you change your position, listen to other people's input.
100%. I know one of the best things that I'm involved in business is having mastermind groups where you get to sit down and go, here's the problem and here's how I'm dealing with it. And then you get other business heads that go like, I've seen this before. What you're going to do is going to do this, this, and this. Do whatever you want, but this is what I've seen happen. And you go, oh, because I've never done this before, I didn't know that is a possible outcome.
Yep.
And now you start. So, of course, diffusion of perspective and ideas is always a great melting pot for making better ideas.
Better outcomes, yeah. And look, as I said, we've got growth. Dardanup Shire, with the areas you've talked about, Eaton and Millbridge, there's capacity there for growth. Dardanup and Burrick have got development plans, so we've got 6,000 people increase available now.
Yeah.
But then the new city of Wanju, which is sort of the growth area for Bumbury to happen into the future, they're talking 18 to 20,000 building blocks there.
Really?
So it will be a city in its own right. So Dardanup's population in 40 to 50 years' time could be 60 to 70,000 people.
Interesting. Let's circle back to amalgamation. I got some questions about sort of the commercial happenings of what's going on in Eaton at the moment, because I think it's really interesting. So you've got 4 gyms? Yeah,
well, in Eaton, and then you've got Austral End as well. So now we've got the new bridge there at Treendale. Yeah. It's actually joined Eaton and Austral End, Treendale.
It all feels like the same thing. Yeah. Being a Bumbury resident, I'm like, it's over there. I don't.
So, there's some new commercial gyms have opened up in that Treendale area.
Yep.
Well, there should be lots of fit people out there.
You would think, or some very rich gym owners,
Yeah.
Now, so I think where I'm sort of going with this is the commercial happenings in the area is super interesting.
Yep.
So we've seen Eaton Fair turn into the powerhouse that it is in the time that I've been living in Bumbury, which is 24 years, 20 to whatever it is.
Yep.
I don't know the story intimately, but I do know the whispers of basically a good idea was presented to Bumbury and they said, no, we don't want it for this, that and the other reason. It was taken to the Shire of Dardanup and the Shire of Dardanup said, fucking go ahead.
Yeah, look, it was the 24-hour trading. So we were the second local government in WA to allow 24-hour trading.
Wow.
And fortunately, the developer out there took that on board and managed to get a key client in there that wanted to make a point.
Yep.
And
the rest is history.
Yeah. So, and there's more growth happening out there. There's some more development plans to expand Eaton Fair by quite a substantial percentage again now.
Right. The whisper on the street was they wanted to continue developing, and the conversation went, well, we have our Shire offices there.
Yep.
If that's the case, then we want this, we want a skate park, we want that. And the developer said, yeah, we will do that.
Well, yeah, to step back a few years, we were looking at redoing our Shire admin library. Because when we first set the Eaton office up, we co-located our library with the school there, the secondary school at Eaton College.
Oh, yeah, yep.
They grew. They needed the library to themselves, so a big impetus for us was to build a new library, and we were going to attach it to the existing admin and do some upgrades.
That's cool.
It was good, but it's actually cheaper to knock something down and build new, because it was an old building. To bring it up to spec got scary. At the time, there was a few proposals made with the owners of Eaton Fair about some options.
Yep.
And they came to us and said, look, we'll buy where your Shire offices are now. We'll give you a freehold title where our Shire offices are now.
Yep.
And we did a sort of land swap transaction, and they're able to grow into that space the old Shire office was.
Yep.
And we've built a nice new facility out there, which I welcome anyone to come and have a look at, because we're really proud of it.
How exciting. So there's just what you said there, it's cheaper to build a new thing than it is to do up an old one.
It is, yeah. The building code's changed, and so that building was nearly 30 years old, and we had to build a new library, so you're trying to attach something to something that's already there and to make that work. And
is there a bit of heartbreak seeing something that has a bit of age and history to it?
Probably not that one. That's you can go to Dardanup and the old original Shire offices are there, and that's your history. Something like the old one that we knocked over, or the developers out there knocked over.
Yeah,
didn't really have a big community attachment. The new building at Dardanup, we've got a timber first policy, Jake. So we'd like to see more timber. There's a lot of timber growing in the southwest.
Yep.
One of our biggest employers in our Shire is that timber hub out there at Moore Road with Westpine and Laminex.
Okay.
So we've got a wood encouragement policy where if we can build it out of wood, we will.
Right.
And we were able to, with the Shire office, go down that path.
Yep.
So we've got a technically 100% timber building, apart from a bit of concrete in a few wet areas.
Wow. Okay. So that's exciting.
It's good, and it's a showcase for what you can do with timber.
I was going to say that would also. I spoke to a graphic designer in Perth who's been in the Perth city working with brands and stuff, and he goes, in the time that I've been here, it's been really sad to watch Perth turn into this concrete glass jungle, Yep. And he goes, everything feels like you can turn it to a data center if things went dark. And I think, like, I've sort of had that on my mind. That was about 2-3 weeks ago now. And the more you look around, you're like, we live in a beautiful house that was built 20, 30 years ago. You drive through some suburbs and you're like, oh, there's like 4 houses you can choose from. It's this shape, that shape. They're all the same thing.
Off the scheme, off the plan.
Which, by the way, as a businessman, whoever came up with the concept, kudos. Yeah. You figured it out.
Yeah.
And probably fucking pisses money in the morning,
It's that mass construction stuff.
Yeah. So what you're talking about there, I'm guessing that isn't just a slap together structure.
No, that's the beauty of timber. It is you can actually do it quite modularly in a modular form. And with the techno stuff, you can design it all up on a computer, and that's the thing. That building came in containers and was clipped together like a big Lego set.
Really?
Yeah, and it was brilliant to watch.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, and the construction time's shorter because a lot happens back in the factory. Everything's precision cut to fit together. So, it has got a lot of potential.
Huge.
And timber's it's nothing more sustainable than timber.
Yep.
You cut your tree down, you use it, and you grow another one.
Yeah.
And then you've got your carbon sink in your building.
So let's go back right to the start. You said, what was Homeboy's name that was before you as president?
Mick Bennett, yeah.
You said he was very innovative.
Innovative, yeah.
Innovative,
No,
that's the word.
He'd come up with these things. Well, how about we try this? Or how about we try that? And the council at the time, there was some other really good councillors there that supported him to go down that path. And one of the other councillors actually developed this wood encouragement policy. So that's and a lot of at the new building, we've actually got a make it space in there.
Yep,
3D printers and cutters and things
for
the community to come in and use.
Wow.
Yeah, we talked about West Pine earlier as a big employer. They actually gave a pretty substantial grant to buy some gear to fit it out, and a lotteries grant. So that's open to the community to come along and have a play.
And do you see much connection with the community through that specifically?
It's just unfolding better now. We've got staff in there that are running programs, but it's in time we'd like to see a user group sort of look after that themselves, and they can come and go as they need.
You know something I think is really cool? Have you seen along the estuary in Bumbury, they put on new playgrounds?
Yes.
So they put in this one right near Paddy's there, and it's a chin-up bar and the dip bar and all that. Mm-hmm. And I saw the first day it got open. I'm like, that's cool, right? Because you got like the skate park at Miami,
yes,
right, where you got the beach in the background. Like, people go there because of that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the LA beachside gyms essentially, where like all the weights are like coconuts and sticks, and whatever it is, you know.
Back to basics. Yeah.
It's such a it's one of those things where you're like, that is almost an entirely free resource for the people who want to use it. And I don't know if those gyms are commercialised. Who cares? I focus on the analogy. But that sort of thing, I was like, that's Bunbury's version of that. I like that. And then I ride past and I see someone's put grip tape on there. Okay. It's being used, right? Yep. And then I ride past a month later and there's grip tape on every single thing. And you go, there's like... I bet you there's like some dudes that call themselves like the Bunbury Muscle Club or something.
They're in there having a go.
And it's 4 months old.
Yeah, yep.
You know? Yep. And it's like that there, and it's the same as your example of this, build-up.
Ours would probably be a bit more formal than that, but you get a group of like-minded people come in and get the benefit of it.
Right.
And even we've had some people use it that they've taken it to the next level. Even we had someone apply for one of the positions, one of the jobs at the Shire. Yep. And they actually printed up they put their resume on a thumb drive, but they had a printed up little model of a sea container.
No way.
And it was and you open it up and there was their resume. So it was just, instead of there's my resume, this is who I am, they just sort of just built on it.
Yeah. I think it's really cool to take, because I mean, you talk a lot about the conversation of community engagement is really, like how do we make like Bunbury, wherever, fill in the space, how do we make people more engaged and feel like they're part of something greater? And I think it is these little like very sort of precise ideas and programs that are executed well, because I mean, you don't want to put for example, you don't put a muscle bar up that's 8 foot tall.
No.
You don't put a muscle bar out on Bustle Highway between Peppy Grove and Capel.
It just cuts out.
Right?
Cuts out potential.
Right. So it's like, all right, what are these things that are not only good ideas, but they're also like maybe like a year ahead of themselves? Yeah. And that's a great example.
Yeah. So and like we'll circle back to Mick. That's where he would come up with these ideas and you'd throw them around and that's what we've been able to acknowledge that with that market space. It's actually the Mick Bennett market space. Mick's actually the friend of the Shire, so we can acknowledge his contribution over the time that he was there.
Want to see what he makes down there, eh?
Yeah, I think he just likes to see it getting used. Yeah, no, it's good.
So how's filling those shoes going for you then?
Big shoes, very big shoes. But I'm lucky that if I do need some advice, I can always get on the phone to Mick. And look, your network gets built over the time. Yep. So even in other local governments in the area, we all get to talk and throw some ideas around. So
must be exciting when you sort of bring the clean whiteboard to the table. You're like, right, let's discuss something. Let's mastermind.
It is good. Yeah, no, but it's also about at the other end when you've actually got something to show from all that work behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is what we've done.
So your past life as a farmer, still a farmer?
Still a farmer. Yep.
Yeah, and what do you farm?
We're cattle farmers, so out there in the valley and at Burracup. Look, I was lucky enough to grow up locally.
Yep.
As I said, I'm fourth generation councillor at the Dardanup Shire, so we've been there in the area for a while. Did all my schooling in Bunbury.
Yep. What school did you go to?
I started Dardanup Primary and then out at Bumbury Grammar. So.
Right. And do you have brothers and sisters?
I've got a couple of sisters
right.
either side. They both live locally now. One travelled and worked overseas for a lot of years, and she's come home, and the other older sister's been working in Perth all her working life, but she's come home and she's built a house on the farm.
Beautiful.
So mum's wrapped.
Yeah.
The whole family's back.
Almost got everyone back under one roof again.
Yeah, no, we're all close.
And everyone's got families. Everyone's
didn't get the rest of you right there, Jake. Mum's a bit disappointed. She's only got one grandkid.
Oh
so
no!
That's the way it's happened. So Dad passed 12 or 15 years. 12 years ago now. So he was a pretty big influence on my life.
Yep.
Always encouraged me to look further afield. So I did my school at grammar, had a year on the farm, then a couple of years in Perth at uni.
Cool.
Back to the farm. That was sort of getting close to the mid-90s, which economically wise was a bit of a tough time with higher interest rates. So sort of Dad encouraged me to do a bit of work off farm, and that actually got me out of the area. I was actually doing a bit of work up in the Territory and the Kimberley and the Pilbara.
Okay.
A bit of road maintenance contracting. So
a bit of what?
A bit of road maintenance contracting.
Interesting.
Yeah, no,
real work.
It was great, and it was seasonal, so I could go up there for our cold winters. I didn't have a winter for 15 years. It was great.
Beautiful. What did you study at uni?
Economics. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you've got an interesting mix there.
Oh, there's a bit happened there. Yeah.
You know how to work hard. You know how to problem solve. You understand how the shit works, like the economics.
That's probably being immersed in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've been on the ship, you get to see how it works.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, look, as I said, worked away, but still, there's nowhere like this region. We are just so lucky.
Dude,
we've got the lotto ticket there.
I'm a broken record. I tell everyone, and like the thing that drives me fucking bonkers is when people don't love where they live. You know?
Yeah, be proud of it.
Like wherever it is, even if you live in heaven or hell, if you don't like it, then get out. And if you do like it,
if you're looking for the negatives, don't be there.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. Yeah.
So talk to me about what you pull from growing up, working on a farm, still working on a farm, and cross-referencing your ability to sort of, because I'd never done. Well, I did stable hand work. It was my first job when I was 14. I've been around farms. I get the gist of it, and I really appreciate the problem-solving element of it. The very sort of tactical.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of key things that affect how you're doing it. The weather's the big thing for us, so we've got to work with the weather. But if you're working with livestock, you're just working with animals and children. So when you're working with livestock, you've got to read the play a bit. And you just got to you learn to become a problem solver.
Is there a correlation between working with animals and working with?
No, I won't say that.
I was going to make gotcha moment. I shouldn't do shit like that.
Well, sometimes everyone's human, and that's the beauty of it. You've got to deal with humans. So and as a president, I can't go in there and bang the thing and say this is what we're going to do. We've got to work as a team.
Yep.
And as a councillor, councillors soon learn that you can have your own idea, which is great, but if you're just going to be so insular on that idea and not on anything else, your idea won't come to fruition either. You've got to bring the rest of the team along for the ride, and bring them around to your way of thinking.
Yep.
Sometimes that takes longer than some are happy to sit there for.
Yeah.
And they'll move on. But in the main, if you've got something good to present, bring the team along for the ride as well. Yeah.
That's that really weird, like I remember when I was thinking about running for council, which lasted probably a year, in which you're meeting councillors, go to council meetings, asking people what they think about me. And like that's asking councillors, asking friends, asking business owners, like, what do you think about me as a councillor? And the amount of people majority of people go like, I don't know what that is. So it's hard to how would you go as a speed skater? Well, do you know what's involved with speed skate? No. Okay, so it's a pointless question.
No.
I think the definition of what a councillor is like probably not understood until you've been doing it for a while.
There's a huge part of that, and we've got staff that do a lot of the homework and they'll present reports.
Yep.
And you've got to be across it, and you get the opportunity to question them. But that's their 9 to 5 job, so they'll present stuff as they see it, and then as councillors we have to then make the decision that goes with them or against them.
Do you think there's being a business owner, I'm emotionally connected to every decision that I make because it completely relates to the bottom dollar.
Yes.
You know, it's like every decision, like even the most minor thing. For the podcast, for example, the size of the logo in the bottom corner, I take emotionally serious.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's a reason for it being there.
That's right.
And so you've thought that through as to why you put it there, how big you make it, and what it says.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Everything's got a reason.
So the connection between the emotional and the physical of what's going on in that role, do you think that, I mean, obviously people are different, councils are different. Some people are going to take it really seriously. Some people are going to take it as a job.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Speak to the importance of you as the sort of top of that panel. Obviously, do you take it emotionally seriously?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. No, you're the captain of the team.
Yeah.
And some players play better than others. But then you get to go to that next level, and the results of that team discussion is what we're putting out there. And look, as a Shire President, as a council, we can make a decision, which I might have been against, but the council's made that decision.
Yeah.
So that then becomes my decision as well, and I promote that decision. So it's a hard one, but that's
push
the
pull.
obligation.
Have there been decisions that, and I don't know, like, let's not get into the decision if there is one, but have there been decisions that have been made that you didn't agree with, and then you watched them turn out the way you thought it was going to be, and that's why you didn't agree with it, but you still have to...
Yeah, look, it happens. Yeah.
That must pull on the heartstrings.
Yeah, look, it does, but there might be two roads to get to a point. And sometimes an easy one, and sometimes it's a bit more difficult. And that can be a learning curve for someone that's pushed to go that way, and they go, "Oh, this is what we want." But yeah, the track they've taken has got a few speed bumps in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a matter about where you get to in the end.
Interesting. Okay, so one of my good friends, Jack Manoni's on your council. I'm 32. He must be 30. Do you know how old he is?
Just 30 if he is. I think he's actually our youngest councillor.
Yeah.
So look, and that's as we've discussed, the different people that make up a council. As a council, we've got a demographic from 30-ish, right through to early 70s.
Yep.
Everything in the middle. We've got our gender balance pretty good, and our background pretty good. Some business, some social people, some in health. So it's a really good mix.
Do you think that youth, because this is a question that I constantly sort of was asking, do you think youth has a place in council?
They do. They certainly do. It is a tough one for them to be able to commit because they're still building their own life. I'm sort of at an age now where I can back off a bit on what I do for myself and invest that time. But yeah, for young people, it is a tough ask. They've got kids.
Yeah.
Someone like Jack setting up a business, it's hard work.
Well, that's a big thing. I'm like, I have Tommy Dillon on here saying, like, it's fucking your time now. Stop everything, do it now. And I'm like, I'm building a business, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the decision you've got to make. And, and there is a right. There might be a right or a wrong time to put your toe in the water. But certainly, it's like we say, it's great to have young people, but a bit later in time, some of those influences on when they've been young, they'll carry that forward in their thought process and when they step up there.
This is the thing, had I taken the business off Dad when I was 18, I would be a lot better at business right now. I would, financially, whatever, but just the acumen of that you acquire in that time.
Your time management.
Because you're doing it, because you're in it, know? And it's funny, I was having this conversation with my fiance just on the weekend. The way, the way I look at my mentor now compared to just 6 months ago is like, I'm now got enough runs on the board. I've been in business 5 years. We're comfortable. Things are happening. My suppliers take me seriously when I call. I'm really proud of my product. All these things. You just change.
You do, and your systems are in place that if an issue pops up, instead of being a 2-day job to fix,
30 seconds.
Job done.
That went wrong. I know how to fix
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
So
I think that
you get that learning.
So to sort of like make this contextual, you go, okay, do I start now even though I feel like the timing's not right, or do I wait and get a few more runs? Because I think a lot of things are transferable.
Yeah, look, that's a personal choice for anyone that's considering it, and you wouldn't like them to not have a go for the wrong reason. You want them to have a go for the right reason.
Yeah.
But to step away and say, no, it's not right now. But talk to existing councillors. As a councillor, for for our local government to work, we need good people and we need a good buy-in. So democracy works when there's a lot of people put their hand up.
Yeah. I think also there's that. I feel like this when I'm making this podcast about whether I should run for council. that's not my intention. I'm fairly solid on how I feel about it.
Yep.
I think one thing as well is when people say, because it's different when someone goes, "You'd be good for the job," and the difference between that and you going, "I would be good for the job," regardless of how you feel about me doing it.
Yeah, it's certainly you've got to be comfortable in yourself, but then you've got to appeal to the ones that are voting. So and they'll make the decision as to whether they think you're going to be a good councillor or not. So.
Do you have? I just want to talk about like your belief system, your faith system, not religiously, as in what you think is achievable in life.
Yep.
Do you believe that if you were in any industry, you'd have the same outcome as what you have in council?
Good question, Jake. Yeah, I think you probably through life you gravitate towards where your strengths are. And look, I've often said that if I hadn't, I mean, I grew up on a farm, so I was probably going to be a farmer.
Yeah.
But I always said that if I hadn't had that opportunity, probably the Defence Force or something like that appealed to me. But you'll find your niche, and it just becomes easier and easier to fall into that place.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, was always going to be a farmer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that projection that you have of yourself typically when you're in that, I want to say 12 to 21 year range, the average projection of your future is like 95% where you're going to end up. Yeah. So you really want to tailor that projection.
As a kid at school, you've got to do work experience and that, and they sort of want you to, what do you want to go and do for work experience? You sort of, you're sort of starting to set that scene then.
Yeah.
And look, for kids that haven't got an easier channel to find their niche, they've really got to think about it in their mid-teens as to what they've got to, the subjects they're going to do at school and on to uni. They've got to start picking where they want to end up. So
I think the youth experience is different now. You know, one sort of question that I'm fascinated by, just everyone's opinion, AI.
Yep.
Like AI is one of those things that if you're not paying attention, you're going to blink and AI is going to be wiping your ass and
slap you around the back of the head.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, you're right.
So let's talk about where that fits into the youth experience. But before that, where does that fit into council, do you think?
Yeah, look, it's certainly there with the old, I mean, I'm a bit of a fossil, so the chat GPT is about as much AI as I've had hands-on experience with, but you sort of see the ability of that to bring a lot of data together and give you and spit out an outcome or some results. As to operational stuff, look, with what Shire does with a lot of the services, AI will, it'll certainly step up. And look, we've had a look at it from a planning point of view.
Yep.
Because so much of what you do is
so very
consistent.
And mathematical as well.
Yeah, so you can put the data into one end and AI will give you the yay or no. Building licenses and stuff, AI will slip in there pretty seamlessly, I reckon.
So what happens when, let's just make a theoretical imaginary world, and you tell all your councillors, like, right, put in your best point as to why we should build this.
Yep.
Right? And how many councillors you got?
We're on 9.
So you've got 5 councillors that say yes, you've got 4 councillors that say no, and here's our reasons, Yep. You've got your opinion, you feed it all into ChatGPT, and it comes up with 1 or 2 colours.
Yes.
Do it, don't do it. Does that worry you?
I wouldn't like it to go down that path. You still want that human factor because you're dealing with the community. There's so much of what we do as a local government with our community stuff.
Yep.
From an economic point of view, you wouldn't do it. But it's about servicing your community, filling some gaps that other levels of government can't fill. So,
But if that's part of your point that you put to ChatGPT,
is that going to pick up on that though? Is it going to say you need to do this? How's it going to value social outcomes versus economic outcomes?
So I think the thing to recognise is that ChatGPT, which is the basis of, there's like 5 players in the game. Yep. ChatGPT is a placeholder for what we're talking about. ChatGPT is a mechanical brain.
Yep.
And in our head, we have a biological brain.
Yes.
right? The emotional and hormonal side of that is purely just to fuel the mechanical side of our body.
Yep.
Right? Exactly. It's so that when you're tired, it's like lay down. When you're hungry, eat, give me fuel. The connection between the two is that like we can't feel it and it can't feel us. But the information that we can give it, especially if like, I'm not asking you to write down what you're saying. I'm talking about recording to ChatGPT, you walking around the kitchen for 6 hours going, and I also want you to understand that the average mother who has to deal with taking their child to this building, I want them to be able to walk up, the child's disabled, so we need to have the ramp, all these things. I understand that I'm not defending one side or the other. I'm just trying to like thought idea it.
That's why you'd be a good counsellor, Jake. You're looking at it from all points of view,
right?
And then you'll come back to a decision that you're comfortable with. And as a counsellor, do you rely on AI to make those decisions? Probably not. You've still got to come back to that human. Yeah. To make a decision you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the big thing I find is like I've just built my listeners are sick of hearing about this, but I've just built this entire back-end system for my business, which we used to literally, like I would have a worksheet that would say it's this is Tyrrell's job, it's due on this date, it's related to this invoice and this purchase order, and here's the project name, and it's this shirt with this logo and that. And I had a sheet for every job. And if the job had multiple garments, it had multiple sheets, and I'd print the sheet and I'd take it out into the workshop and we'd put it up. Very manual system. Now it's entirely digital. It cross-references the information. So as an invoice is made, it knows it's for this job. It knows it's this purchase order. It knows it's this garment, this print. It tells production. Everything is linked. Now, it has AI in it.
Yes, yeah.
It was built by AI, right? I know how to do it now because I asked AI, hey, I've got these problems in my business. What do you need? Oh, well, you need a database. You need CRM. You need project management. Here are my suggestions. You know, and now it's only as good as my ability to ask it the right question and deliver it the right prompt. Exactly. Yeah. Right? So I think the part where like now as I've had this massive jump forward and like, okay, I had this business that had the potential probably capped at about 30,000 a month turnover. I built a system that has no cap. The cap is now how much can you print?
Yes.
How much marketing can you do?
You've still got to make the decision to implement it. It'll develop it, but you've still got to implement it. So it's fine to have AI develop outcomes.
That's the step we're at though, is the prompt.
Yeah.
The AI is only as good as the question being asked to it.
Exactly.
Right? And also to interpret the data and actually go, all right, I've asked it this huge question. It's given me this summarized answer, but also for me as a human to sit there and go, is it trying to fuck me?
Yeah.
Is it trying to tell me something that's not true?
Just don't know.
Yeah. So it's like it's such a like, all right, if we're probably like level 2.
Yeah.
And it's probably like 8 levels away from destroying the world. So
that's the Terminator movies and that sort of stuff.
Right?
Everyone's thinking that, and it's got that.
Right. What does level 3 look like? Because the jump between level 1 and level 2 was like, whoa,
massive,
brother. What are we talking about? So level 2 to level 3, level 2 to level 8. Is actually sort of like trying to explain to someone who delivered milk in the bottle to your doorstep.
Oh, it's exponential.
That there's going to be podcasters in the future.
Couldn't imagine it.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, right? That's right. AI. What does AI look like? And the time frame for delivery on those things is squeezed up.
Yeah.
Because of development.
Thank goodness they take a lot of power and water. Otherwise, we'd already have it.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're right.
So let's talk about the experience that a young person has now. So just so we get a feel on it, you're talking about a population of 15,000 people. Yep. How many of those 15,000 people would be under 21?
We are a younger population, a lot of young families because it's that Eaton and Millbridge stuff.
That's your 21 to 35
probably sort of. Even a little bit later than that now.
Okay.
Look, the actual breakdown, I'd have to get on the census.
Yeah.
Bureau
well,
stats,
let's not go crazy.
We are a little bit younger than average.
Yeah. So you do have, well, just that tells me, you've got younger family means that you've got kids that are now probably in primary school, maybe starting to be in high school.
Yep.
Those children, those young adults are experiencing, I was the last sort of breed to not have social media at school. Mm-hmm. That's where it starts.
Yep.
And then it was every kid has an iPad. And then it moves to these like digital whiteboards. Mm-hmm. Right, yes, where it's like we write on the thing.
Well, we don't even on council. We don't write the way we used to write because it's all everything's so electronic, and you make your notes on the laptop.
Yep.
You just don't write like you used to.
Right. Now the thing that the two things that come to mind are I I remember the teacher be like, you're not allowed to have a calculator, you've got to work it out in your head. And it's like, now you're not allowed to talk to ChatGPT and ask for the answer to be said back to you. And you're like, fucking the what?
Still trying to encourage a bit of thought to happen.
Yeah, that critical thinking, you know, and that sort of bleeds into the area of like, you know, farming is, I mean, you saw it with the cord before, right? It's like, all right, is it that broken? Is it this broken? Like that critical thinking.
Problem solving.
Right. I feel like that's what's going to be missing, on top of the fact that these kids are exposed to not only a mass amount of information, but a mass amount of imagery.
Yeah, yep.
That was never an issue before, right? And I think the trickle-down effect of those things, this is a massive problem I don't expect you to solve. The trickle-down effect of those things is like over-sexualized but less sexual beings. It's people who would prefer to stay in a dark room because they have access to everything.
Yep.
And out there is scary, and I have to make direct eye contact with people and have conversations, right?
Yeah.
Is there, like, I mean, outside of being the leader of a shire, what's your feeling about that?
Yeah, look, it's a pretty, it's a scenario, it's a bit scary. So, look, from a local government point of view, we've got to put mechanisms in place that can engage our young people.
Yeah.
And we try to do that. We've got a youth advisory group, the Shire of Dardanup, and do the events and things for them. We've previously sponsored with one of the Lions clubs out there to put kids on the Lewin sail training ship and some stuff like that. So you've got to make those immersive things look, make them sexy so the kids still want to go and do them.
Yep.
So often you see the kids will come along, we get to meet the kids that are going and have a quick chat with them, and then they go away and they'll come back and they make a presentation to council.
Yep.
And even their parents say the growth of those kids doing some of those experiences is massive. So you still got to have those abilities to go and get dirty and and do stuff.
Yeah, and get hurt and make friends and
fall out of a tree and
fail and learn and
So that was second nature to us. That's what we did every day as kids.
Yeah.
The kids these days have got so much going on and so much pressure on doing this and doing that.
And not failing and getting caught on camera.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I never worried about, you know?
Didn't have a dream of it.
Yeah, we used to scream words at each other that would now get you bloody...
in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I still scream it, but just make sure there's no one's got a phone out,
No,
you know?
I like it in the cattle yards. Scream at the cattle and no one cares. Yeah,
So talk to me about what are some major sporting that you've got going on in the Shire of Dardanup?
Okay, out the Shire of Dardanup, so we've got the Eaton Rec Centre out there.
Yeah.
That's the home of the Southwest Slammers and the Jets.
Yep.
And last weekend before last, we had the pickleball championships out there. So
really?
Massive turn up of pickleball people.
You wouldn't have thought it, eh? That's interesting.
They're an interesting crew, that pickleball. I loved it. It was just, there's no average pickleball player. It just, everyone can play. Young, old. So there was massive out there.
Yep.
We've got the equestrian centre out there at Dardanup. That's one of our bigger groups. There's happening out there. So from a regional point of view, we've all got our little bits happening. But yeah, the rec centre's our show place.
Yep.
It's a lot of people going in there. We've got kids playing basketball at 9 o'clock at night because it's so popular. And I'll go back to Jason's comments about the Southwest Sports Centre. Every shire's got huge demand on their sporting facilities. So, so we just got to, as a council, that's something we've got to keep ahead of the game on. Yeah,
continually nurture, because I feel a lot of my go out, get dirty, fail fast things from being a kid was skating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're going to local competitions, you're going to state, national competitions. I skated at a world level. And it was all of those things, like every time you came back from those trips, you were like a year older.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
Cured.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I remember, you know, this is obviously one of the higher ends of that. We went to China for World Championships, and it was like the first time where it's like, all right, go figure out what food you want to eat. And you're like, I'm 17. Like, I'm in China. Like, what do you mean? It's like, you go up to the vendor, you point, you give them money, and I'm like, thinking that's impossible. But then you do it once. And then the next night you're like, oh, maybe I can do it. By the week two, you're like, I want the chicken and the
that one. Yeah, I want that one. Yeah.
And all of a sudden you come back and you're this new person.
And sport right through, not just as a young person, but even as you get a bit older. Excuse me. I played hockey as a kid. Loved it. When
Okay.
I went to primary school, you did two things. The boys played hockey and the girls played netball. So
Okay.
Dardanup, there's a lot of hockey players out there. So, and I love that team sport stuff too.
Yep.
And you get to travel. Wasn't a great hockey player, but we'd have teams where we'd go away on carnivals and stuff, and you'd be a part of a team. And it's just sport to young people is just so important. So we've got to make that ability available for them.
Yeah. I think that you said before, make it sexy. I love that term because I think a lot of things, it's like the cliche-ness of going to the PCYC. You know, like, it's just a PCYC. But then you would go down there and use a rock climbing wall and this and that. You're like,
this is all right.
It's actually pretty cool, you know.
Exactly.
But the fact that, and I remember the difference between the PCYC before here in Bumbury, before and after they painted the sidewall. Mm-hmm. It made it like that's a spot.
Yep.
You know? So it's like, how do you, and like I applied to roller, like I absolutely love rollerblading, roller skating, as you can probably tell. Mm-hmm. But it's the fucking gayest sport ever. You know, it's one of those things where like, how do I feel like a dork.
But you found your niche.
Yeah.
And you got more than just a bit of physical exercise out of it. You actually got growth and saw the world.
Oh yeah, 100%. I lived in Europe for a year and buddy did the thing. You know, the thing that I go is like, all right, I think this thing is really cool. How do I market it? Because that's what you're doing. How do I market it as something that it's like, hey, you might have this preconceived notion that it's this. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Have a go.
Yeah. See what happens. And if you like it, oh wow, you know, like feel free to continue doing it.
You've got a choice. Yeah. And that's where we've got choices. We get to make choices. So pick the one you like.
Yeah. All right. So let's amalgamation. Pretend that you're forced to do it.
Yep.
Right. So now we're talking Harvey, Dardanup, City of Bunbury, and there's one other? Capel. Right. What would you want to see if that was going to happen? Like, your main concern is losing the voice of your people. How do you combat that?
Well, to take it back a step, it's about whether the community wants it. And look, there's probably in that region, there's probably some communities that see some more benefit to others. So it's got to be a big community consultation in the setup. And look, if the community wanted it, it'll happen. Yeah. But to my mind, I don't think the community's got any interest in it at all. In our region, in our patch. Yeah. So as I said, we've got the growth. How would it look, Jake? You'd have a monolith. You'd have a local government area that would actually encompass probably 2 state government areas. Yep. So all of a sudden, which is more important, that Bunbury geograph, City of Bunbury geograph, is that more important than 2 state voices? All of a sudden, you've lost the voice of 4 to 1.
So, all right. When we talk about state voices, you're talking about Forest and...
No, you'd have the bulk of Collie Preston, all of the Bunbury electorate. Yep. I think some of Vass comes into Capel, and you've got some of Murray Wellington comes into Harvey. So. Oh, okay. So Bunbury on it, the state seat of Bunbury encompasses all of Bunbury. Yep. And I think it goes into Dalyellup a bit. Right. Collie Preston is all of the Dardanup Shire and all of Collie. Yep. And a little bit of Harvey, Treendale, a bit of Treendale. And then you've got Murray Wellington's local government of Waruna. Could be a bit of Murray and a bit of Harvey, the top end of Harvey. So okay. So there's some bleed, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. And tell me if I'm wrong. The division of being heard is the division of those 2 characters that we were talking about. If you took an average of your space, right? Yeah. So if you put Eaton and Millbridge into the City of Bunbury. Yep. And if you're doing it, let's scoop Dale up. Well, and that was the proposal back 10 or 12 years ago. Yeah. Probably a little bit more valid now as well because you've got actual dense population. And there's still that growth to cater for inside the Wilmington Dandy. But the big question is, what are you going to do with the rest? I think you leave it in the hands of the people who... Like, I don't think that Bunbury does better
at managing what is being managed already. I think that the long-term results only stand to benefit by putting similar population densities together as one, and then having perhaps, and dude, uneducated, I run a t-shirt business, I don't know shit.
No, that's if you want to lump everyone in like that, but what you'd have left is, and we call it the donut shire. That's what it'd be. It'd be bit of Harvey, bit of Dardanup, bit of Capel.
Yeah.
You've slashed the population of that shire to less than one of the what's left in what currently is part of one of the local governments already, because you just pulled the people out.
Right.
So what you've got left's got to try and maintain a service level to those residents that are out there.
And this would then affect all the economics of...
And then are you going to say, well, the people in Dardanup, they're still using facilities in Bumbury, with all this new Bumbury geograph city. Why? At the moment, we can cater, and even as we've sort of touched on the fact that each of those local governments that surround Bumbury still provide some facilities and services to the city of Bumbury people.
Yeah.
I mean, city of Bumbury people, they love to come out to the wineries and go and have a look at Gnomesful.
Yeah, yeah.
So everyone's carrying a bit of load.
Does it work the other way? Does it, like, can we cut Bumbury into two sections? Can we cut Dardanup into two sections and make even smaller shires?
Yeah,
again?
I think that's probably going the other way. Yeah, I think anywhere in that 30 to 50,000, which is where we're all going to be in the next 20 years, it's not too big.
So that's actually the hill to die on here. It's the population perfect place.
What is the perfect size? Is there a perfect size LGA, or do you have to take those other factors of what the makeup of those people is and the geography and the land area? I mean, you talk to some of the, you look at those big wheat belt shires that have only got 500 to 500 people or 1,000 people, but they've got massive areas.
Yeah.
How do you service their needs by aggregating based on population? There's still different needs for different areas.
Yeah, I think, this well, it goes down to, at its base level, when you live in an area, there are decisions that have to be made that go beyond the individual, right?
Well, truly.
So it's like, all right, you're not going to be able to look after getting your bins emptied. So as a community, we're going to organise emptying the bins. Yeah. And if everyone can chuck in a couple of bucks every week for the bins, it works. And everyone's like, sweet. And then that, obviously, that multiplies throughout all the little problems. You know, your water, your this, okay, there's been an environmental disaster where everyone puts in $5 and we fix the thing. And that's essentially what rates are. Am I right?
Yep.
Cool. Yep. So based off that, because the thing that comes to mind with a wheat belt is like, well, if you live 500 acres away from me, how's about this? Don't fucking worry about me. You know?
Yeah, but they still need the roads graded and formed and stuff, and then the funds have got to be generated. So, yeah, look, there's pros and cons for them all. So I said it was a discussion from 12 years ago, and one side of politics was happy to talk forced amalgamations. The other side said it'll only be by consensus.
Yep.
It's been done in a few places. City of Geraldton, Greenough, up there in the Midwest.
Yep.
So you've had the Shire of Greenough, City of Geraldton, and Mullewa. They amalgamated. Probably need to talk to some of the different, how the outcomes are up there. Over east was a forced one when Kennett was in power.
Yep. That was in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, the whole of Victoria, they slashed their numbers.
Yep.
But they're not dealing with that big geographical. WA's a big state.
A lot more people and a lot littler space in Victoria.
So you're everything's a lot closer, probably a lot easier to deal with. The outcome of that, I really don't know whether they're happy with it or not. But to me, local government, because we're closer to the people, I think we just need to be accessible to the people without getting too big.
Have you recently asked your population about the concept of amalgamation?
Not in a survey sort of situation, no, but you get the feedback.
Yeah.
Even keep going back to 10 or 12 years ago when the discussion was on, we had an anti-amalgamation committee working group.
Wow.
And there was no one came to that and said, let's do it. So,
yeah.
But look, it's fair call.
Yeah.
With the local government elections coming up, that someone may stand on that platform. I want the Shire of Dardanup to amalgamate with neighbouring shires.
Yeah.
We'll see how they go.
I think, like, handy footnote, I don't care. You know, like I'm just having a conversation, and like I love sort of going, okay, well, tell me why. If
well, like you said, it's about knowing what local government does.
Yeah.
And when you get in there and you sort of say, well, we're having an impact here, or good or bad, this is what we do as local government. When you get in there and have a real red hot look at what local government does, there's a fair bit going on. So
yeah. To
try and make it a bigger machine, I think you'd lose out in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think the thing that that's interesting is you read the Facebook comments on Bumbury Ask It Answered, all these Facebook pages, and everybody thinks that there's like 4 topics that get brought up in council, and it's like, you don't understand. These poor souls have to have their opinion on like 100 things every week.
Have a read on an agenda.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen them. They're crazy.
They're like that.
And you go, this is this week, and they go, yeah, there's another one in 2 weeks' time. You're like, oh, okay, this sucks.
They run. Yeah. So that's a lot of the basis for it. Yeah.
Well, let's say you've got to come up with 1 or 2 good things that would come from amalgamation.
You'd have probably some effective advocacy around your need as a bigger area. But when you get, a lot of the funding for projects and infrastructure does come from other levels of government. But if you've got one budget announcement for one sporting facility for that big area, whereas they will try to spread it around, you're probably not going to get you're going to get a big check every now and again, but you probably won't get that scatter effect, that's where the communities are all out there. It's not as though that we've got facilities sitting idle. They're all getting used. Yeah. And we do need more, but they are expensive to build. And especially the basketball courts are the topic of the one. Bumbury got some money, Harvey got some money, we've got some plans, so we're getting in the queue. But to sort of, for a next level of government to say, well, there's your money for your LGA, that's got to do for the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to have different parts of that LGA are going to miss out. And you'll have a nice big shiny one, but you still won't have that through the suburbs facility.
Tell me if I'm wrong here. Let's say you've got 100,000 people in a council in Perth. And then you've got 100,000 people in an amalgamated council here in the southwest. The difference that you're concerned about is the land mass.
Oh, well and truly.
That is the actual point of contention here.
And history's not the reason for doing everything, but we've historically grown the local governments in each of our parts have sort of catered for each of our local government areas. And the city ones, they're certainly bigger, but they've grown over time, knowing that that's where their boundary was. So that's what we cater for. All of a sudden, you're going to change the boundaries, and the change in delivery would be huge on an amalgamated LGA.
I think one of the main points that stood out from memory, and I have a lot of conversations with a lot of varying perspectives and what would you call it, value of conversation, you know. So forgive me, Jason, if I'm wrong in remembering this, but something along the lines of, you're going to build a basketball court, I'm going to build a basketball court, and they're 10 k's away from each other as a crow flies. And you go, all right, well, you got appointed $10 million and we got $10 million over here. And the point was, well, instead of fighting for the same money, why don't we get that one group of money and make one massive basketball court? Your answer to that is, in reality, people are going to miss out because instead of that...
It's going to be really convenient for one or the other. And then all of a sudden you've got to put some transport infrastructure in so people can move. How big a basketball, how many courts do you put in one facility? 20, 30? And then it becomes too big.
Yeah, and also based off because the population density is a big topic here, you know, because it's sort of like, you put 30 basketball courts in a place that is surrounded by skyscrapers and there's 1 million people there. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Contextual. But when you do that in, say, fucking Glen Iris.
It's going to... pimple on a bum.
What are we doing? Yeah.
What's going on here? And that's fine. Glare Iris is happy because they've got it right there.
Yep.
But Dalyellop, they've got to jump in the car. And and when I was a kid, Hay Park, Saturday morning Hay Park sport.
Yep.
All day Saturday. Because that was the focal point for the region.
Yep.
And Mum and Dad, we couldn't get the same time slot for the 3 kids. So
constant.
all day, in and out. So as a parent of a child, do I want to be able to say, I've just got to flick down to drop the kids off and shoot home or watch them and come home? Or have I got to make 3 trips across or spend the whole day across at this new super facility?
Yeah.
It's sort of, and that you want them to play sport. You don't want to discourage them.
Yeah.
So make it accessible.
Yeah. There's definitely, the conversation seems to definitely be about the real-time application of these things, given the population that we have and the amount of space that we're covering.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I've definitely I feel like I'm beginning to understand the other side of the conversation.
Yep.
But also, as I said, I print shirts for a living. You know.
No, look, it's and you've got an inquiring mind, and you're asking and you're seeking out a position, so that's good.
I think a valuable conversation to have would be some sort of. Getting you and Jason.
A debate sort of. Not a debate, but just a
conversation.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem is again, I'm coming in with very basic language and.
Yeah, look, it's what you know.
Yeah.
And that's at Dardanup. We've just done our community survey back in March, and we've gone up a couple of pegs in the state.
Yep.
Our community's pretty happy with what we're delivering for them. So. We'll hang our hat on that, and they get to comment on all sorts of things.
Yep.
Safety, housing, sporting facilities.
What is the housing situation with the Shire Dardanup?
Oh, it was actually our biggest, our worst score.
Yep. I think it is for everyone. That's fairly consistent.
And that's where it's across all levels of government housing, but we're trying to. We've got a few ideas how we can help. Infrastructure deliveries holding up a lot of availability through all of us, and that's talking with other mayors and presidents in the area. That's the biggie. We know what we want to do, but it's actually delivering. It's just getting a bit hard at the moment. So,
are you having? Is homelessness a?
Yeah, look, there's people living rough out there.
Yep. Obviously, it's a topic, a constant topic in Bumbury at the moment.
Yep. Yeah.
But I imagine there'd be Eaton and Millbridge.
They're scattered around there.
Yeah.
When you see where people are living and they're under bridges and in the bush in caravans and stuff, it's not the ideal situation.
Yep.
So, we've got to try and get some outcomes there to make some availability.
Yep.
Actually, the CEO Andre and myself went to Perth last week, had a bit of a session with the Minister for Planning.
Yep.
We've got a proposal, but they all cost money. And that's where we need buy-in from other sectors to bring it to fruition.
Interesting. So what did the Shire Dardanup do well in your survey? What's your...
look, I'd have to have it in front of me. I haven't read it for a while, but you sort of, unfortunately, you probably do focus a little bit on the negatives to try and address them. But look, just engagement, our place and community stuff that we do, the events.
I did want to ask you about your events. What's Dardanup's sort of key events?
We've got a couple. So October we've got the Bull and Barrel out there in Dardanup.
Classic.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
12,000 odd come to that one.
Huge.
It's a free event, and also in October we've got the Spring Out. We've got a couple of festivals at the Eaton Foreshore.
Yep.
The schools run one. That's the Foreshore Festival, and then October we do the Spring Out Festival. So that's our showcase for events, and lots of we have the summer series, so lots of small summer bands in the park. Movies will Moonlight, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So they're open to the public from anywhere.
That's heaps. That's heaps.
There's a calendar we actually voted on at council last night just to set it up for the next for this next 12 months. So we'll have a summer series in autumn, and Capel and Harvey also got theirs. Capel Fest, another one you can shoot down there and see how Capel are doing it. And Harvey do the Sunset Festival they've got on down at the Fair Street.
Oh yeah.
There's just heaps going on.
Have you got anything that's cooking at the moment that you're excited about that it's making progress?
Yeah, look, on an events one, and it's a collaboration, this is where, as local governments, we don't have to be all in the same shed, but we can all work together. So the Lost and Found Festival, coming up, that's across all the 4 local governments, and Collie could even be in that as well. 50 events on that weekend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we'd probably need to string it out over a couple of weekends.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is about bringing people in
Yep.
to the area to have a look. It's great bringing people in for Perth. They can spend some money and they can nick off back up there.
Yeah, spend heaps of money while you're here. We don't mind.
So, but then and that's where we are fortunate and done. We've got the Ferguson Valley. It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
People love it, but we haven't got the accommodation. So we're hand in hand with Bumbury there. They can stay in Bumbury, do the nightlife, and
then
come out and do the nature-based stuff out in our patch.
It's always like, it blows my mind. You'll be 20 minutes in the car and in Ferguson Valley, and you're like, this is where I live.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's like heaven.
And even for me, as a kid out there, the coast's just there.
Yeah.
So when we grew up, you go fishing and diving, and
yeah.
it wasn't an expedition to go and do it. It's just something you could go and do at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, yeah. Such an amazing slice of the world we live in.
It is. Yeah.
As far as like maybe initiatives or things that are being built, is there anything there that you're excited about?
Built. We've just, as I said, we've done the Shire Admin Library.
Yeah.
Got a few smaller infrastructure builds. Cricket club out at Burracup, we're going to get some change rooms for them.
Yep.
We've done change rooms at Eaton for the junior footy and cricket out there.
Yep.
Dardanup's had a bit happen. We'd like to do some more out there with the old Shire buildings and the hall out there.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure builds it's big bucks these days. So
yeah,
you've got to work. It's a trickier process. So.
Actually, you've got heaps of cycling out in Ferguson.
Well, you've got the road bike crew love
Pole Road,
but then you've got the mountain bike out there as well.
Oh, also Pole Road, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that sort of just grew on its own.
Yep.
A few blokes out there riding a bike, and then.
Oh, dude, I sharpened my teeth on Pole Road in my adolescence. Man, I've died and come back to life a few times. Hey.
Yeah, but excuse me, Joe. You talk to people that do it globally, and they say it's got some really different levels.
Yeah.
You can go that way and go up the hill, or that way's a bit easier ride. So no, it's pretty unique.
I have like a clear memory of coming down Pole Road and seeing a honky nut coming up at 70 k's per hour, and you're like, just don't hit it. And of course, you hit it, just a wobble's going that much. Oh, goodness. All right. Someone's from out of town or someone's from Bumbury, and they're coming to have a look at something impressive in the Shire of Dardanup.
Yep.
What's your top 3 recommendations?
Well, the Valley's an easy sell.
Yep.
And Gnomesville for the kids.
Yep.
That's a great.
And continuously growing.
Yeah. The population out there is nearly 1-to-1 with the proper
Crazy.
people. And that's just a great story how that started and grew.
What is the story of Gnomesville?
Well, there's a throughway intersection out there that there'd been a few accidents on, so probably back in the 90s, there was a roundabout put in, which some people thought was a bit of a laugh, having a roundabout out
in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
And one of the locals out there, Kevin Campbell, he set it up that during winter he put some gnomes out there playing football, and then during summer they changed to a cricket match. And then people would sort of go there for a laugh, and then the 2 sporting events had some spectators, so there was gnomes watching.
Way.
And this was all happening in the middle of the roundabout, so it created its own traffic hazard in its own way, because people are going out there to have a look and they're driving around and around. And
yeah.
so from there, the Shire actually made the move to move it across the road to where it is now, and it just took off. So
that's one of those things where you like set and forget, and now you just come back every year and it's
a bit of a clean up. Yep.
Yeah.
The prison crew come out there to help clean up.
Yep.
So the work's released. So it's unique, and you talk to people on the eastern seaboard, and you say, where do you come from, Dardanup? Oh, near Bumbury. Oh yeah. Gnomesville? Oh, I know the one you mean.
Wow.
So it's actually it's our big ticket on the map.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
surely, have you guys got merch? Got T-shirts and stuff?
Oh, look, there is certainly, it's played on. The tourist army out there, the Ferguson Valley Marketing and Promotions, or Ferguson Valley Marketing they are now, that work out of the old Don Hewson Centre as a visitor centre in Dardanup.
Right.
Yeah, they'll sell gnomes, and there's a lot of T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Put them in touch with you to get
100%. I'd probably can't talk about on the podcast, but I'm working with Bumbury to try and make some cool options there, which, I mean, we went to Castlemaine earlier this year, Castlemaine and somewhere else, and all we wanted was a fridge magnet and a T-shirt.
Yep.
And there's businesses that do their business in that town as a shirt. You got the Castlemaine Rod Shop and stuff like that. But it's like, I think, like the classic shirts are like Parabadoo 1998, you know, stuff like that. It's like, why? I feel like now is a time for people to have, if you made it cool enough, people from Dardanup would wear it.
Oh, look,
you know,
the Ferguson Valley have got the I found, everyone goes, I got lost here, but we've got, or the Ferguson Valley, they've got I found the Ferguson Valley. So there's a T-shirt there.
Yeah, beautiful.
It says Ferguson Valley WA.
Yeah.
And to me, that's when we have trips to Canberra and that, and you go and see politicians, you actually give them a shirt.
100%.
And say, this is where we come from. This is who we are. And you give them your spiel.
Yep.
You try to get, you just got to make, you got to put yourself at the front of the pack.
So, make yourself memorable. 100%. That's why I got a face tattoo.
So,
maybe the first face tattoo in council, we'll see.
That'll happen. It takes all sorts. So, that's a big part of who we are at Dardanup is the valley and the wine and stuff out there. Yeah, you can come back into the Eaton, and when that Eaton Fair shopping centre's done with the cinemas and stuff, that's going to be a big thing for people living there.
Where's the cinemas going to be?
In the shopping centre. So
like upstairs, or
they'll be upstairs. Yeah. So if you can imagine where Kmart and Coles are, and our Shire office, all to the north of there, and the proponents there, they're putting a big town square in. It'll probably have the
interesting
features and those sorts of things, but there'll be a town square there that we're one side of, and the retail and stuff's all the other three sides.
Wow.
Oh, look, it's a big thing. $100 million you're going to spend there.
Wow. That's crazy. So, has that changed? Has the shopping centre changed ownership?
No.
I heard that there was a rumour that it was Westfield.
No. Still
rumour.
Still the locals, yeah.
Yeah, right. Very good. All right. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to promote? Is there anything that you want to tell people while you've got a microphone in front of you?
Yeah, look, it's been a great session. Thanks, Jake. But look, and as you said, with the impetus for the discussion today was the amalgamation discussion.
Yep.
We've all got to work together to get
you feel like we covered everything that was worth?
Oh, look, like you say, Jason and I could sit down and talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
But there, look, we all do our bit. It's very easy to sort of see where your neighbours are affecting you, but just there is a bit of traffic going the other way. And look, the other one I haven't even touched on is the waste. I mean, the tip we've got out there at Dardanup, we actually get everyone's waste. So,
what do you mean?
The big landfill out there at Dardanup.
Yeah.
So, we get a lot of metropolitan waste and most of the south.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a two-way street.
Right. So how what does that mean? So where you get
it's a private facility.
Yeah.
But it's got a landfill license. It's a big facility.
Yep.
But it's the most economic landfill probably in the state.
Option. Right.
So that's where it's all going. So
interesting. So and again,
that's out the back of Dardanup. So that's what the people of Dardanup look out their back door to see every morning. There's this mountain of rubbish going up, and they see the trucks coming in and out. So,
and is that because Bumbury buys or pays for the waste to go?
They'll pay, yeah. So and look, Dardanup goes there too. We all make waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. While there's the problems out there at Stanley Road, the Bumbury waste's going in there. Harvey's, Cables comes in, and a lot comes out of the city too. It's sort of 250,000-300,000 tonnes a year of waste going in there.
Wow.
So that's
a whole other podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's a big one for us. So,
yeah.
But that's what you're doing in local government. You're trying to get the best outcomes.
Yeah. Keep moving forward. Well, it's been a pleasure, Tyrrell. Thank you very much for coming on.
Nice meeting you.
And everyone else, be good to your mum because we are out of here.